Well, I guess the primary takeaway is I guess Jon Jones not gay. If in the crashed vehicle you have a naked girl passed out in the car. All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back. So big night last night. I was out of commission doing some stuff last night, and so I couldn't do videos on either Jon Jones retirement or, you know, the pretty big news over in the Middle East. And for once, sitting out for a little while ended up being a tremendous benefit to me because I would have just shot up and done videos and I would have had incredibly lacking context in both stories because I know exactly why Jon Jones retired, as I'm sure some of you guys, you know, maybe already know, and some of you are about to find out right now, because he didn't retire to duck Tom Aspinall, okay? He's ducking something else because he has another case, and this case is crazy, okay? Like Jon Jones retired out of nowhere, like 12 hours before the news broke that he has a new criminal complaint for an incident that happened in February, okay? And like the details of this, it's another hit and run, okay? Or another, fleeing the scene of a car crash, which I can only speculate that he probably was blacked out drunk because they found a girl in the car who was blacked out drunk. And Jon Jones had called her phone 13 times. Someone threatened police or something like that. You know, whatever. We're going to get into the details of that case in a second because they're wild. Okay, wild. Jon Jones is a wild dude, man. I just, like, he is a reckless drunk, man. I don't even know. I mean, it's like the understatement of the century. But, like, for his career to end like this, I also don't think this is actually going to be the end of his career. Just for the record, you guys. Like, I just want to tell you guys, I don't think this is actually the end. I think he's retiring because he doesn't want to deal with the fallout from this new criminal case and all that stuff. Because, like, he can come back anytime he wants. Okay, Amanda Nunes is coming back to fight Kayla Harrison, in case you guys forgot about that, right? She was retired for however long. Like, do you think Jon Jones, after he retires, cannot come back and fight Tom Aspinall if he wants to? Of course he can, you know? But this is the real reason that he's doing this now, okay? So let's get into this story and let's rock and roll. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys. And by the way, on the other thing that's going on in the Middle East, I've got a barn burner of a video coming because, like I said, not doing the video last night, I ended up this morning. I did more research for that video than any video I've ever done. Like, I was sitting and reading for like 3 hours this morning. Gabrielle's like, "What are you doing on your phone?" I'm like, "I'm reading something." Like, that video is probably going to be the most original take on this entire thing because it just will. I've got context that I don't think anybody else has put out there yet. Anyway, so check that out later. All right, so let's do this. Now, one other thing I will say is I watched Luke Thomas's immediate reaction to finding out that Jon Jones had retired, and I was extremely aligned with his take, you know? Like, he basically, because you got to see it in real time. He was live streaming. And then so when he found out, you literally got to see his, like, instantaneous reaction. And I'm like, this guy is literally communicating exactly how I feel about this also, you know? And just to kind of go through that, because I thought it was such a good take, he's like, look, no one could ever take it. The reason we're talking about Jon Jones in the light that we are is because of his run at 205, which was undeniable. And just for like a visual aid to how undeniable his run at 205 was. I mean, obviously this is not like news to anybody, but actually looking at it is bananas, dude. He wins the title right here in March of 2011 when he beats Shogun. He goes through Quentin Jackson, Lyoto Machida. And keep in mind, every time that you see a name on here, it's a fighter that was in their absolute prime when he fought them, okay? Because it was a title shot. They were in their prime, as good as they get, right? So, not Shogun, for the record, not Shogun. Because Shogun, his prime was in pride, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, but like Rampage, okay? Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, TRT Vitor Belfort, TRT Vitor, who almost beat John. Chael Sonnen, Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, OSP, Gustafsson, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. That's over it's like 9 years of nothing but the best guys in the division in their absolute prime. Like, there's no denying it, all right? But here's the other thing, is he's like, his heavyweight run was the exact opposite of that. is this like fabricated thing, completely opposite of his light heavyweight run. And it's completely true. If you really think about it, like Jon Jones's heavyweight title run happened because Francis Ngannou left the organization. Okay. He left the organization. That's why. And so they had to get somebody in there, and it had to be a big enough name to like drown out the we lost the heavyweight champion to whatever Francis is going to do. Okay, so they gave him an incredible, favorable matchup against Ciryl Gane. Don't get me wrong, Ciryl Gane is a gangster, but like he had no grappling, and Jon Jones exploited that instantly. And then he fought a 43-year-old Stipe Miocic. Okay, March of 2023 is almost 2.5 years ago. Okay, he won the title 2.5 years ago, and he fought once against Stipe, who was 43 years old. No offense to Stipe, but like, I mean, you know. Obviously, there's an injury in there that you know, exacerbated the timeline. But like, and then in November of 2024, then we just sat here until now, and then he retired. It's like, it's like the way that Luke said it was, he was like, that guy never gave anything back to the sport. Like, you know, in terms of like his heavyweight career, he's like, he was just taking. He didn't give anything back. Like, you know what? You're not going to give the fans this fight that everyone wants. Like, that's kind of the thing that's what kind of, I was like, man, that's true, dude. It's like, you know how much the fans want that fight, right? Now, again, this is his take prior to knowing, you know, what I'm about to show you guys in a second about the case, which is the real reason that he's doing this. But at the time is like, dude, like, you look at what this sport gave you. And like right now, you're the heavyweight champion. You haven't really proved it, right? Not really. To people who really understand what they're looking at, not really. You know, you didn't beat Francis, right? You beat Ciryl Gane, and then Stipe, who should not have been a contender in any conversation, like fucking 100 years after he got knocked out by Francis. You know what I mean? But it's like, and the fans wanted this fight more than any other heavyweight fight, like, ever. And you just retire? Like, you're not going to give the fans that? Like, even if I understand driving the money, like driving a hard bargain, but like, I don't know. I mean, I was like, that's true, dude. That's fucked up. But again, now let's see the real reason that this actually happened. Okay. So let's run through this right now, and we'll get the details on this case.
Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal reported that Jon Jones is facing a criminal summons issued on Tuesday in connection with a misdemeanor charge for allegedly leaving the scene of an accident. He has been ordered to appear in court for a bond arraignment on July 24th. According to the report, an Albuquerque police officer was investigating a traffic accident that occurred on February 21st, where a woman was found in the passenger seat of a car. She was reportedly visibly intoxicated and partially undressed from the waist down.
Undressed from the waist. So a naked girl left in an abandoned, crashed vehicle. That sounds like Jon Jones. Hey, I guess Jon Jones is not gay, you guys. Sounds like he's not actually gay, you know? Unless, like, he's a gay guy who just, like, as a hobby, has naked chicks in his car when he's blacked out drunk. Like, seems more likely he's probably not gay. You know what I mean? Or he's so wild, he's like, I won't compare him to that guy. But, he's just DTF or whatever.
The woman told authorities that Jones was driving the vehicle and fled the scene on foot. She later contacted him, and a police service aide spoke to a man on the line believed to be Jones. The caller was allegedly heavily intoxicated and made threatening remarks, suggesting he had the ability to use lethal force through other individuals. Due to the perceived threat, the aide called for backup. Another officer then spoke to the same man, who allegedly repeated similar veiled threats. The individual never directly confirmed whether he was indeed Jon Jones. Later, when interviewed in person, Jones reportedly told police the woman had left his home earlier that day under the influence and only contacted him after the crash occurred. He claimed the person who answered the phone spoke in a highly unprofessional manner, causing him to question whether the call was legitimate. The woman also told police that she had consumed alcohol and mushrooms at Jones's home and remembered needing to change her clothes there. Her next memory was waking up at the crash scene, and the last person she recalled driving the vehicle was Jon Jones. Police records also show that Jones made 13 calls to her phone.
Why is this girl ratting him out? I mean, I'm like half joking, but what I will say though is, yeah. So, we'll get to the end of this in a second, but I have to comment on some of that. So the girl calls Jon Jones. Jon Jones obviously is calling her because he must have immediately ran and left her there, which is insane, dude. Like, if you really think about that, dude, like if you really think about it, so you crash a car, right? The girl's naked. You're like, I mean, she must have been blacked out drunk, if she just stayed there in the car. But it's Jon Jones. Like, dude, pick that bitch up. You know what I mean? Like, sling that girl over your fucking shoulder, you idiot. Why are you, like, why would you leave her there? I mean, I know she's not actually in trouble for anything being in the car, but, like, of course she's going to narc you out. The cops are going to come. She's going to be like, hey, what happened? Like, if she's too drunk to get her fucking pants on, you think she is, like, sober enough to be reliable and not tell the police that it was you that was driving the fucking car? Idiot. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're Jon Jones. You weigh 255 pounds of dynamite, dude. Just sling her over your shoulder and get out of there, But nonetheless, and then when they end up on the phone and it's like, hi, this is the Albuquerque Police Department. And John's like, hey, man, I'll have you killed. It's like, yikes, dude. Yikes. And we're going to look at a video in a second of his arrest in Las Vegas. Not because I'm trying to I'm not trying to throw salt on the wounds of this fucking disaster that is the end of Jones's career, but just so that you can visualize who was actually speaking to these cops on the phone at the time, because he is not the same person. Dude, Jon Jones sober is like super smart, super charismatic. Like, I mean, like the guy is he's got all the gifts, you know what I mean? But like blacked out Jon Jones is a different person, completely different person. Anyway, let's finish this and then we'll finish up.
Phone between the time of the crash and the following morning.
Oh, okay, sorry. So then all that was that he had called her phone 13 times after fleeing the scene. And he's like, dude, it wasn't me driving. It wasn't me driving. And she's like, it was Jon Jones. It was Jon Jones. He's a UFC fighter. And he's like, is that a reliable witness? They're like, who picked up Jon Jones's phone drunk threatening police? Like, I don't know. I didn't have my phone, man. I was drinking at my house. Now, another thing that we can take away from this story is if you ever crash your car drunk, apparently the move is you what? Flee the scene. You flee the scene. Apparently that is just like, that's what you do. You flee the scene. Because Jon Jones is now facing misdemeanor crash and run or whatever, fleeing an accident versus his 500th DUI that he dude, honestly, when I heard this is a misdemeanor, I was like, that's lucky for him, man. Because at this point, like, I'm being serious. And like, I'm far from a Jon Jones hater. I really am, dude. Now, my tune on Conor McGregor is changing in that regard. Like, cause I give guys a lot of leeway, dude. Like, I mean, I know the like, yeah, I don't know, the version of me that is presented now as like father, 3 daughters, I do videos, I go to jiu-jitsu, have a great marriage, it's like that's who I am now. Okay. I was very different when I was in my 20s and, early 30s. Like I was a crazy person. I mean, I'm not this kind of shit, cause I was smarter than that. Like what's the right way to put this? Like I've always been excellent at, thinking through how would I get caught for this and how can I avoid this? And I think that skill kept me out of jail, but I was wild, dude. I was wild. I was into dark shit, man. And it's like, so I know I'm a good person. Like, I know that. I've never done anything to intentionally hurt anybody or whatever. But like, I was a wild party guy, dude. So like, I look at Jon Jones and whatever. I'm like, he reminds me of my friends. I mean, that's what it is. It's like I know a lot of guys who are wild motherfuckers when they're drunk, like crazy, completely different people from when they're sober, like different people, completely different people. And it's like, you know, and I know they're good guys. It's just the booze changes the dynamic of any human being, dude. Like they're going to be, and I don't know. I mean, some guys just turn into fucking bad versions of themselves. But, and also like with Jon Jones, he did not hurt anyone on purpose. Like he's not like going out, like all these cases that he has, none of them are him with malice going out and hurting anyone. Okay. Now, the reason why I bring up the Conor McGregor thing is because I had Marcus Deegan on my show, and you know, Marcus, good people, dude. He relayed on the interview what was communicated to him about what happened from Conor's team, you know? And then the next day, the story comes out, or the next day or the day after, or whatever, the story comes out from the owner of the club who had like rolled the red carpet out for Conor over and over and over and over and over. Like he has a relationship with Conor and his people, that the guy that he punched was not from Ireland. He's an employee of that place. Like, and he's the nicest kid in the world. Like he's never had a problem with anyone. Like he's never once had a problem with anyone. And Conor just attacked him. And it's like, well, whose side, like given Conor's history, whose side am I supposed to believe? You know what I mean? It's like whose side am I supposed to believe? Conor's been accused of punching people for no reason 1,000,000 times. You know what I mean? Like over and over and over and over and over. It's like, yeah, he just attacked me out of nowhere. He attacked the girl in Spain, the Italian DJ, oh yeah, he's totally normal. And then he just flashed and attacked me. And it's like, well, it seems like that's much more likely what actually happened now. And that is a deal breaker for me, dude. Like that right there, that's a deal breaker for me if that's what actually happened. That some guy's just like, hey, can I help you guys? And Conor just blitzed him. Like that's what he does. He just punches people in the face for no reason. And again, Conor's the same as Jon Jones. You get him drunk, get him blitzed, and he's a different person. Like I would hang out with sober Conor all day. Like sober Conor, dude, I would love that fucking guy if we hung out. Like love that guy. Okay? Like love that guy. But man, he has got a fucking demon inside of him. When he is blitzed and drinking and on drugs, dude, like he turns into a demon. Like that is fucking crazy. Like I hung out with some wild dudes, man. Like some wild dudes. And no one that I've ever hung out with would attack a person like that for no reason. Ever. I mean, obviously I would never hang out with a person like that ever again. Like if someone in my crew, let me think about that. Well, okay. No, I'm not going to say that. Like I'm saying, if they just attack them for no reason at all, like without even like a perceived, confrontation, that, yeah, I mean, that would be a deal breaker. I'd be like, I'm not hanging out with that fucking guy anymore. You know, my perspective on the world, generally speaking, is like, if you go around doing what you're doing and you are concerned about not like damaging other people, you know, and if you help some people, they're like, then all right, you're good. The second that you start victimizing random people, like that is a complete, like I'm done with anybody. I would fucking never hang out with anybody like that. You know, never. Like that shit's fucked up, man. The guy, like, dude, you're Conor McGregor. You have the world by the balls. You're in Ibiza. This guy works at the club. You're talking about different fucking stratosphere of status in society. Why on earth would you just attack that guy? I don't know. I mean, maybe there's more to the story, but the owner of the club said no. So obviously this take is based on that. But, you know, again, and also they said that he was going to glass Conor. I literally watched that video. Like I said, you can't see the guy's hand, but as soon as they said that, I watched the video. I'm like, I mean, that guy did not look like he was going to hit anyone with anything. I mean, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, so Jon Jones will come back, and that's that. So love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.